What's up, my boys and girls? Izuko again. I have a video for you today. This video is going to be a little bit more talking with examples of what I'm talking about. These are principles that have helped me out in life, in gaming. I used to be a pro. In pretty much every game that I've ever played, I've always been able to climb to the very top of any ladder, no matter what type of game it is. That's just kind of like how I work. I'm able to apply these principles that I'm gonna share with you today, and then basically become good at whatever I do, no matter what it is. Anything in life, if you apply these principles, it's kind of going to help you. But not really going to be talking too much about that. More of how it's going to apply to this game. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this video, and let's get straight into it. So this video is basically me talking about how to get better, and not getting better as in just like getting better as a person in a game, but just like how to be ready for stuff. So first thing that I want to talk about philosophy wise is that we already talked about it in a few of my other videos, but practice is going to make perfect. That's a lie. That's not the truth at all. Practice makes permanent. So if you're going to do something, as you see these guys in the back over here, literally in the back right there, these guys are practicing, right? Now, are they practicing perfect? If so, it's gonna make permanent what they're doing. The body relies on muscle memory. It's hard to react, because if you have to react, if you have to think about it, you're gonna be too slow. If you're hesitating, you're too slow. So you have to get into this thing called whooshin mode, which is where you don't have to think, you just do, and it all happens naturally. That is why we practice. So that way, whenever you're in the moment, you don't have to think about it, you just do it. Because if you have to think, it's going to be too slow. And I'm a victim of this myself a lot of times whenever I play, because I don't get to practice as much because I have a life, got a job, you know, girl I gotta worry about, all that kind of stuff. And I got a lot of things that I try to juggle at the same time, so I don't get to practice in this game as much, which means if I have to think about it, it's not going to be as smooth. But the people who put in the time, you're obviously going to be better than someone who could necessarily have a higher ceiling than you. To make sure that you are giving yourself the best chance at winning, you have to make sure that you're practicing. And I'll tell you why. But it's not just practicing, you have to practice specifically a certain way. And I'll show you these things, these kind of principles that apply to anything whenever it comes to fighting. Now, fighting is very unique because you can apply real life fighting concepts to fighting games, and you can apply fighting concepts in video games into real life. And now, I don't know if any of you guys have actually fought IRL, but if you have, then you should know a little bit of something about some of the principles of fighting. So let's just honestly just hop straight into it. So whenever you're fighting, there are a few things that you kind of worry about in fighting. I'll just give you like a list of the things that we're going to cover today, and then you can like kind of pick your poison. So you have to worry about speed, you have to worry about timing, you have to worry about power, you have to worry about precision, you have to worry about mind games, setups, and then the knowledge that the other fighter has, and then experience level. And then the main thing is like will, or like your ability to handle pressure, clutchness, you know. We call that the X factor, you know what I mean? Like the Sonic has the X factor. He can like clutch things out. It's just when you go against him, you know, even when you think he might be out, he gonna pull something up and then be able to. Some of these things are very hard to practice, but I'll show you how to get all of these things in your arsenal, and we'll talk about each one of them right now. So speed. Speed is one of those things where it's like, how fast can you do something? Like how fast can you like duck cancel? Right? Or like how fast can you like, or how fast can you do any tech that you want to do? How fast can you do a combo? Like literally whatever you think of, how fast can you do this into your poke? So like let's say if this is plus, how fast can you do that button, and how consistent can you make it? These are all the things that develop into speed, but speed is also movement, which means how fast does your character move? So let's say if you do let's see here. Oh, that's a tragedy. Cool. And then we'll go ahead and do reversible on that. Okay, so I can't do it right there, but let's just say if that was a thing. Which one could I do it over? Can I do it off that one? No, it's too slow. Can I do it off of that one? No, it's too slow as well. I want to do it like this. Ooh, why do I have jacks on? That's the reason why I'm tripping. I was like, huh? Sorry about that, guys. I was like, I'm pretty sure you could do that. I'm tripping. All right. Okay, there we go. Cool. So, and is this still here? No, it's not. Sorry, guys. I'm setting it up. There you go. And all right, all of that should be. Oh no, no, it's not. There we go. Now it should be good. So let's say right here. Now let me do it like this. Oh, he's gonna poke at the wrong time. Can I do it like this? No. What about this? No, he's gonna poke between all of these. What about this? Can I do it like that? No, he's gonna poke between that too. This maybe. That's too slow. What about this? Okay, this one works. All right, cool. Let's do it off of this one. So, let's say there is a moment where you would think that you will be kind of caught, but if you're fast enough, or if your character just has fast movement speed, right, then you can get out of certain situations, or you can apply more pressure than other characters who don't. Now, this is a very, very basic concept, but it applies to everything. So, like, then you get a punish from that, right? So now this becomes actual pressure, because they know that, hey, if I can't get a button, see how this is just a punish, right? I do this, do a quick backstep, it's a punish, right? So, like, it just goes to show you that speed also plays a really, really good part of, like, fighting in the game. Now, speed could mean, like, how quickly you can get from here to here, you know? Or it can mean like how far you can get away from someone, or it can mean how much distance you can cover with this, or just whatever. Speed of your character. These are things that are very, very important. For example, Johnny's, you know, shadow kick. I'm always going to call it shadow kick. But anytime your character has anything that is good and fast, that is very fast, it's going to be good. Your frame data in your buttons, like how fast is this button? How far does it go? The speed of it. If you have a 6 frame button, it's quicker than the rest, so you can punish things that other people can't. Speed matters in the game, so you want to be able to know what you have as a character that you are playing that has speed properties on them, and master those, so that way you can abuse your character speed, your frame data, whatever it may be. Anything that is involving speed, you need to be able to learn how to abuse that. Now, there are many different examples of that, but this will be one of them right here. Using that speed of your backdash to, you know, punish someone. The next thing that you have is power. Power in this game can be correlated, or can be basically seemed as like how much combo damage can someone get meterless, how much combo damage can someone get with meter. Can they get 50%? If you know a player like Ninja Killer, they are very big on power. Whenever they play, he likes playing characters that do a lot of damage, because the more power that you have, the less time you have to sit and play with the person. You know, you can get them out of there really quick. So if you can do 50% with the character, and all you got to do is spin a bar and, you know, 2 cameos, then that is absolutely worth it, because you took half of their life. They only got one more shot, then they're out of there. So power is very, very important. And again, that could be in combos, that can be in even something as simple as this right here. This is one of the most highest damaging sweeps in the game. That literally is more damage than a throw, right? Power can also be in how much health you have as a player. So if you have a character that has 110 or 100 or 1100 health, that is power. That is giving you something that is greater than another person's, and you have to be able to abuse those things as well. But for the most part, that's really going to be combo damage, the actual sheer, like, just greatness of a character, their power level. Think of it like that, right? Being cheesy, but literally power level. And then those are kind of like the main 2 things that you're really going to look for in a character. What's the speed of a character like? Frame data wise, movement speed wise, their buttons, just how fast they can, you know, get from point A to point B. And then that's pretty much what you're looking for whenever it comes to that. Now, Another thing that you would have to know as far as like why speed and power is important is because if you have speed and power, you're really hard to stop. Now, what I'm going to share with you guys today is going to be basically like a code to learn how to beat people you have never beaten before. If you know someone's archetype, I know this is sounding funny, but like literally fighters have archetype. Everyone is beatable. You got to understand that like humans have this idea that, oh, it's Sonic Fox, I can't beat him. Or, oh, it's Ninja Killer, I can't beat him. Oh, it's Mike Tyson, I can't beat him. Oh, it's Floyd Mayweather, I can't beat him. Until they get beaten. And then it's like, hey, they're human again. Every human that is a human is beatable. What you have to do as a person who is training is to learn their archetype or learn their style, study them, and then literally do the style that beats that style. You know how they have the saying in fights, which is style makes matchups, right? Like styles makes fights. So like if you got someone who's a really good fighter, like they're good at like punching and standing up, but they have no ground game, and they go against a person with the ground game and they want to wrestle you, that's gonna make a very interesting fight. However, it can go either way. But if you have two people who are both stand up, that fight is also going to be very good, because they're going to be sitting there standing and banging and throwing hands, and it's going to make the fight. Now, if you have one guy who has no wrestling and all he can do is punch, and you have a guy who has no punching but all he can do is wrestling, it's probably going to be a very boring fight, because the one guy is only going to hug all day and the other guy is only going to sit there because he has no ground game while he's trying to punch, and then he gets immediately taken down. So you got to look at players like how people look at archetypes. Just like how you look at a character, you really want to pick a character that fits your style, or a character that breaks your style and like strengthens your natural style weaknesses. So if you know you are more of a brawler, I would highly recommend that you play a character that is not a brawler. That may seem very intuitive, but a lot of people, they like, oh, I'm a brawler, so I want to play a brawler character. You're not building on your weaknesses at all whenever you do that. You want to play a character that's not really a brawler, and then make them a brawler by getting that much better. So that way your weaknesses become a strength, and your strengths are already your strength. They're just there. Because if you're a natural brawler, if you're a natural, like, you're up in their face, a rush down, why would you play a character that is a rush down? And I know that may seem counterintuitive, but I don't really believe in the fact of like, oh, keep your strengths and don't worry about your weaknesses, just grow your strengths. Someone is going to exploit your weaknesses, and this is the reason why experience and all that stuff, we'll talk about that later, are all very important whenever it comes to fighting. This is why Sonic Fox makes certain pros look like they're nothing. Like the difference between Sonic Fox and Ninja Killer compared to the rest of the pros, no shade being thrown, but it's night and day. These guys are levels above. But why? It's because they know their strengths, but they choose characters that work on their weaknesses or that go against their style, and they let their style rule whatever they're doing, and then they really let the character kind of build off of their weaknesses so they have none. Now, people who don't do that, yes, you can beat the majority of people, but the people who really study, the people who are masters, the people at the level, the highest level, are going to be able to counter you, find your weaknesses and exploit them. And if you've never worked on them, if you don't have a character that helps take away those weaknesses, you're going to get absolutely exposed, or you're going to get what we call downloaded literally. So it is your job as a player or a fighter or anything in life to make sure that you work on your weaknesses, or you're never going to be a complete like fighter. So speed is good, but you can't rely on speed alone. Power is good, but you can't rely on power alone. And guess what beats speed? Timing beats speed. Guess what beats power? Precision beats power. For example, this is a very simple example. Let's say you have a character who can do a 50% damage combo, but you have no execution. You can't get the combo right every single time, so you never get that damage, right? So if that's the case, then what good is the power of the character if you don't have the precision to execute it, or you can't do it consistently? Or let's say you have a character who has a lot of high combo damage, but in order for him to get that combo damage, he has to commit to this. If you're going against that person, if you are precise whenever you press your button, you can completely negate all the power in the combo, or all the power of a certain button, if it's very like aggressive or whatever. You can delete all power with precision. So precision beats power, and timing beats speed. So again, you have frame data. So you have a 6-frame button, or let's say a 5-frame button that's a mid. It doesn't matter what the speed of that button is. It doesn't matter what the movement. So for example, let's say you have someone who can do 2 quick, forward dashes, or even that into that, or like that, or right, something like that. If this is speed, guess what beats that speed? Timing. So let's say, I'll go ahead and just do an example here, so that way you guys can kind of get what I'm saying a little bit here. And let's say he does this. Hold on. So let's say someone does that. That's a really, like, let's just pretend that it's like a hard gap. If you time this button the correct way, you see how I didn't do it that right, but if I do it there, it's all about timing. Everything in fighting game is all about timing, and I know this gets overlooked so much, but I'm telling you guys, the most important thing over precision, over everything, is timing. If your timing is right, you can completely destroy players. I think timing is the most important thing that you have to learn whenever it comes to games. For example, if you're always running up to their face doing this at the exact same thing, people are going to read the heck out of you. It's not even going to be funny. For example, if you're always doing this and you don't vary your timing at all, if you don't add these little delays, like for example for Honor, it was a game that I was like top 3 in the world at one point, and then I was top 56, I was top 85, like so many seasons I was always like really good at that game. That game was completely based on timing. If you always did things at the same timing, you were getting parried, you're getting your lights parried, no matter where you're at playing on console or PC, you're getting parried. But if you sit there and you walk up, delay just a little bit, or like throw the next button, then delay the next button out, you would get all kind of extra damage, all kind of extra sauce to your kit just by delaying your timing or just switching up your timing. And you'll see pros say it all the time, I hate that player's timing, or I hate this player's timing. They're so random, they're so... That is timing. Let's say if you have a button that's very negative, but you have great timing, this button becomes scary way out here. So a lot of players, they're like, oh, I got this button, and they do it very predictably. Or if you like, whatever, if you know, like, you can read someone's dashes, or if you like don't dash at all and then throw a button out the way, or instead of you doing like this all slow, you make it very quick like that to where it's unreadable like that. You just kind of do it out of nowhere, so you like let your block kind of hide the fact that you're doing one of those, right? You get what I'm saying? So if you let go of block and then you like do that, that's readable. But if you let it go and you go straight into it, now that's a little bit harder to read. This just the smallest little details, right? So if you sit here and you're fighting and you're trying to like play with somebody, or something like that, and your timing's bad, and they read that, you're not going to be able to open anyone up. You're not going to be able to get someone to stand still, right? But if your timing is very good, so let's say you always do this, right? And then one time you wait, and then you do it again, they're going to be like, oh, switch your timing up. The smallest little things matter. Your timing completely determines, because some people, a lot of pros, matter of fact, they literally do that, They'll tap block, or they'll do something, and then they'll delay their timing just a little bit. If you do not delay your timing, you're going to be caught up. You really are. So seriously, timing is one of the most important things, and timing can be applied for literally anything. For example, you're doing this, right? Instead of just going straight into another meaty, you could be like, wait, or do it, backstep, wait, you know what I mean? Whatever it may be, just delaying a little bit. Now, since this is all relative, you might be like, well, why would I do that whenever the game is based on frame data? I could just get stuffed right there. You can't if you do a backdash. You can't if you abuse your speed on top of timing. So timing beats speed, and precision does beat power, but if you have timing and speed, you just made yourself better. If you have power and precision, you just made yourself even more better. And if your precision and your timing is better than the other opponent, it don't matter how fast their character is. It doesn't matter how fast they are. It doesn't matter how many combo knowledges that they know or whatever, how many combo paths they know. None of it's going to matter because you're going to stuff everything with your timing and with your precision. Another thing to really focus on is range. And we have in fighting what we call range finders. So that's basically how far can you hit, like, and still hit. So a character like Omni-Man, learning max spacing, learning footsies, because if you know your range of your character, you can always be in a position to hit them where they can't hit you. Very, very basic fighting mechanics, but it's all very important. Footsies is all based off of range. Footsies is all based off of they're trying to hit me, I counterattack them. They're trying to hit me, they whiff, I punish them. I'm counterattacking. All of this really correlates into real life fighting. So range is footsies. It's very, very simple, but range is all about footsies. And if you master footsies, if you master your character's range, and if you know exactly how far you can be where what they press out is going to miss, and you hit, you're absolutely going to destroy people. Because guess what beats timing and what beats precision? Range. If you know your range, it doesn't matter how fast, it doesn't matter what their timing is, you can legit, like, let's say for example, you normally do that, or let's say you hit this button and then you backdash into that, right? If they know that you're gonna do that, but this back one range went from here all the way to where he's at, it doesn't matter what kind of timing that they have. If they cannot get a button to hit you in that space, or if your range is just that good, for example, you take a character like Astra. So for example, I'll just go ahead and I'm going to make this very thorough so that way I can show you guys the formula to become the best player ever that you would want to be. So we'll take a character like Astra, for example, and we'll use Liu Kang, for example. We're just kind of showing some little whatevers, right? So let's say again you have me and I'm sitting here. I'll go ahead and put him on reverse mode on, and we'll put him on recording with nav, and then we'll go ahead and get in here, and then I'll make him do like one of his best buttons, right? So he's gonna do that on wake up now. I mean on reversal. So if I do this, he should be able to do that, right? So if I do that, he's gonna do that. So now here's the thing you have to understand. So let's say he knows that, right? Let's see how fast your backdash is. So that second one's gonna catch you, right? So then now you gotta ask yourself, okay, what can I put in between that gap, whether it's speed or whatever it may be? What can I put in that gap? And as we can see, there's nothing that we can do in there. But if we go ahead and let's say we did something like this, hold on, how would I want to do this? We have a button like this. Where is it at? Is it this one? That one. You have a button like this. It doesn't matter what his timing is. It doesn't matter how fast he backdashes. It doesn't matter if he like backdashes to try to punish this button. No matter what. I mean, this is a high, but you know, this button, it can reach you from way out here, which means this is the reason why Astra is like a very, very high character on a tier list, because her range dominates. You want to know why Setruon was a very, very dominant character? Because she really didn't have that much sauce. Her combo damage was slow. Her power was slow. You had to be very, very good with your timing. You had to have a lot of precision. And most importantly, the reason why she was so good was because her range, her keep away game was very, very good. But if she didn't have the range, I promise you, she would not have been the character that she was. So this game is all about range. So if you have range, you beat speed. You beat power. Because how can they get the power if they can't get the power to the location? For example, let's say you have this small person who has short arms. They're very big. A player like Mike Tyson, for example. Mike Tyson had to really master his speed in order to be able to get the power to the actual target. Because if someone has more range than you, you're spending your whole time trying to, you know, get there. Now, a problem with range IRL, but not in video games, is the, you know, the better your range, the harder it is for you to fight up close, because you lose your leverage, because you can only, you know, like baby arm them, if that makes sense. Like you can't really fully extend, so you can't use your range. It's kind of like that in video games, except that you don't like lose your range whenever people get close to you. Your range is still the same, you know. But If you don't play to your range, then if you don't use your max extension, so max spacing, you're not really playing your character correctly. So it's very, very important to know range, because range is going to beat power, range is going to beat speed, range is going to beat timing, and it's going to beat precision. Range is also your pokes. You know, if you have a poke that's very, very good, right, and you master the timing of that, what can they do, you know, outside of like trying to punish you? It's very, very important to know your character's range, because range is going to be the deciding factor in how you actually play. So for example, someone like, you know, Conor McGregor, Sean O'Malley, these fighters who have good range, long arms, they really dominate because it's so hard to get close enough to where you can hit them back while they're counter attacking you or whatever. So these are kind of the people who kind of have a what I call a boost, if you should I say. So finding a character who has a lot of range is really only going to benefit you, because the more range you have, the more juicy you're going to be able to be in this game, and that's just the way that it is. So range is one of the easiest things to kind of allow for yourself to kind of cheat a lot of people who are much better than you. So the first thing I would say, if you just want to find like a way to get good at the game, first, the easiest one to get is power. But if you have range and power, so a character who has great range and then high combo damage, that will be the best character for a noob to play, because you don't have to literally think at all. You can just abuse both and then literally go crazy. And the fact that Astra has range that leads into combo damage, that's the reason why she's S. So range is very important. Now let's talk about another thing. So all of those things are good, but now let's talk about how to get to that upper echelon, because in all reality there are levels to the game. And just like how there are levels in, you know, fighting, which like there's a person who a street fighter, then there's an amateur, then there's the Ami leagues, then there's a pro, and then there's a real pro, and then there's the best in the world, and then there's like the greatest of all time. There are levels to everything, and with every level comes more practice, comes perfected practice, comes experience, comes that will, comes the ability to study, whatever it may be. The higher you go up, the more you have to have what I like to call a pro's mindset, because I don't think a pro is a person. I think a pro is a certain lifestyle or a certain way of handling situations. So people do life coaching, people do game coaching, people do coaching for, you know, NBA players are constantly being coached by their coach. Even though they're some of the best players in the world, no matter how good you are, you still need a coach, because there are levels to the game. And if you're not being hungry, if you're not being coached, well, then someone is going to take all of that natural talent and they can be out coached, and then it doesn't matter how good you are, because they're having that help. So let's talk about the next levels, because all of what I just said is just one level. That's like the beginner level to this. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is the reason why Sonic Fox is one of the best fighters in the world. The things that he's able to do, the fact that he can literally take any character and make them god tier, I'm gonna show you guys how he approaches that. And I don't even have to like sit here and be like, oh, I've been in a room with Sonic Fox, I know how you think. It's how this stuff works. So Sonic Fox is Sonic Fox because he has mind games galore, and he just understands how to get inside someone's mind, or use this certain mix-up or the certain setup and lead it into another thing that can just ragdoll you all the way down. Set play, that kind of thing, setups, that kind of thing. Mind games are always going to be one of the highest levels of gaming. If you do not have mind games, if you do not have setups, if you do not have set play, you will not be able to dominate people. You have to be able to find out, okay, I could do this and I have to lead it into something. And in a lot of times, and a lot of people don't understand it, but like if you're doing combos or whatever, but your combo ends and then you just reset neutral, it's not worth it to do that combo and just reset neutral. Do that combo, get however much damage, sacrifice the extra 10% if it means you'll be able to go straight into a setup. If you'll be able to go straight into some sort of, you know, set play, you know, potential, or some sort of like move on wake up that stuffs delay, stuffs armor, stuffs, you know, delay tag, stuffs wake up button, stuffs everything. it's more worth it to do that, because then you put more pressure on them. More mind games are being played instead of you just ending the combo, then you reset neutral. Again, power is not going to beat mind games. You can have all the combos in the world, and that's why a lot of the community is absolute dog water, because they focus on, I want to learn this combo, I need to do this combo, I need to do that combo, and those videos get the most views because everybody want to learn combos, because everybody hop on and they play combos. Mortal Kombat literally is all about combos, you know. But that's why Street Fighter 6, a lot of people couldn't survive in that game in MK, because people want combos and that's it. They think the game is all combos, but combos should be the last thing that you should worry about, because combos don't make the game. Mind games make the game. The game's mechanics make the game. So you have to absolutely learn mind games. So what are mind games? Let's talk about it. Mind games are 50-50s. Am I going to do this meaty? Am I going to throw instead? Am I going to sit there and do auto shimmy? Or am I going to sit there and do it and then wait? Or am I going to sit here, wait? Am I going to dash up and then use my speed? Am I going to dash up and sit here and do whatever, do armor or whatever it may be? Or am I going to sit here, wait for them to press, and micro duck, whatever? There are 1,000 things that you can do whenever it comes to mind games, and that's the reason why there are levels to the game, because it's all in the mind. You can have all the combos, you can have all the speed, you can have all the reaction time, you can have all of the natural talent. None of that makes any difference if you're going to get someone who is playing mind games, because the mind is basically the motor. Your body or your skill is all like the vehicle. I don't care how big the vehicle is, I don't care how fast it's moving, I don't care how high and advanced and how good the tech is in the vehicle. None of it matters if the motor is faulty, if the motor is malfunctioning. So if you can get in someone's mind and condition them, you completely destroy them. So it's all in the mind games. If you can stop someone's motor, you completely stop everything. That's why people trash talk. That's why people, you know, get in your head that way. They do all kind of things to play mind games. We'll sit there and we'll leave you open if you're playing basketball, so that way you can get mad at your teammates, so that way you sit there and you bickering with them, and now we just played a mind game on you, and now you're causing your teams to, you know, not work together, and that means we can get an easier time winning this game. Thousands of ways to play mind games, but mind games is how you win. People who sit there, they never lost yet, they never lost a round yet, they're in a tournament, finally they go against someone, they play one mind game, or they do one little sneaky thing before the fight starts, and the next thing you know, they get their first L. It's all about mind games, and that comes with time. This is what I call like veteran moves. The more you play or the more you master some sort of art form, whether it's, you know, a sport or a fighting or whatever it may be, anything that requires mastery, cooking even, the more you, any sort of competition, the more you play mind games, the easier it's going to be, because if you can get in someone's mind, you stop their motor, and then everything starts to malfunction, everything starts to break. So a mind game could literally be like we said, am I going to do the button, or am I going to throw? Mind game could be, am I going to sit here and actually use my bar when I break away or not? Now, it's not like MK11 where it's like people would like stop their combo because they thought you were going to break and they were trying to punish you for it, right? You can't really do that in this game, but in MK11 you did. So it's like, am I going to break? Is he going to break, or is he not going to break? Is he going to break and then I'm going to get punished for it? Is he not? So let me just stop playing mind games, making them not even use their power because they're afraid of the mind games. Is he going to sit here and do this? Is he going to use his pressure, or is he going to just backdash? Can I poke right there? Can I not? You know, these are all mind games that are constantly being played, and mind games happen every single second. And the more you get better at using mind games and abusing them, the more you're going to be able to condition people and completely bully them. Now, because people do play mind games, you also have to be aware that someone is playing mind games on you. And that's where we talk about will, clutch, X factor comes into play. Being stubborn, having will, having a backbone, saying I'm not going to allow for you to bully me, or I'm not going to respect that, I'm not going to allow for you to just do that, I'm going to counter this, or I'm going to let you get this because I'm setting it up so I can get that, whatever it may be. You know, like for example in boxing, a lot of people, they'll purposely put their head out in front to get you to commit and swing, so that way they can move their head back and throw a counter left hook, throw a cross, throw a straight, whatever it may be, so that way they can catch you slipping. You thinking that you about to get them, but they playing a mind game. They're putting their head out so that way they can pull it back. And since their head is forward, it's very easy to pull your head back without losing balance and then throw that cross. And next thing you know, they thought they had something, and now they're completely just, destroyed. It works like that in this game as well. Now, a lot of people, they'll also sit there and they're like, I'm going to just hold my guard. I'm going to let you throw your little combos or whatever. I'm going to take a little bit of damage, so that way it'll get you to like be real, you'll kind of feel your little momentum going. And then I'll throw this sneaky check right in between where I know you're going to, throw some punches like Izzy did to, Pereira, and then take him out. They go to sleep. Then you hit him with power. So you thinking that I'm sitting here, my life is low, then I hit you with a fatal blow. And then it's like, oh, that was 50%. I hit you with this button, lead it into fatal blow, and now I just gave you a good old 45% of your health taken off. Hit him with a power shot, basically. These are all mind games. These are all clutch moments. These are all, showing will, showing that, hey, I might be down or I might be low, but I still got to fight, whatever it may be. That is what makes you good. Sonic Fox has some of the greatest comeback factors because he's been in these situations before. So let's talk about that, for example. How does one build will? How does one build clutchness? How does one build the X factor that Sonic Fox has? It comes from training every single scenario possible. Basically, hey, I got put in the corner, but I practiced on the corner. I got put in this weird situation, but I've been here before. I know what to do. I know exactly what combo I need to do to take this much of their life, and I'll let it lead into another setup that's going to allow for me to take this much of their life into another setup that's going to allow for me to take this much of their life. And I'm going to have to use this much to get there. Whenever you are that advanced with your character or in the game, and you know exactly what you need to do in order to win, or exactly what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are with your character or just you as a person, and you know exactly how to abuse them or make your weaknesses strengths even, it makes it to where you're very, very hard to beat. And that's what builds clutchness. That's what builds that willpower, that X factor of like, he done it again. Steph Curry, wow, he hit it. I've been here before. I practiced this before. I practice hard. I practice harder than the game is going to even be, so that way I'm prepared for everything. So I know I'm meat munching a little bit right here, but seriously, Sonic Fox is literally the GOAT of MK. Like he without a doubt, he is the GOAT. This guy is super good, and it's because he knows how to practice, and he practiced very random situations that people wouldn't even think of. Not even as far as practicing for defense, but practicing for offensive purpose. See, could I do this, and is this going to work? And if so, then it's going to lead into this, it's going to lead to that. And find 1,000 different paths, so that way if it ever happens in a tournament, if it ever happens in a game, he's like, I've been here before. I know exactly what I need to do. And he'll be like, okay, watch this. And that's where confidence comes from. That's where, that whole sort of like, all right, I know I got this, A lot of people don't have confidence. The only way you don't have confidence is if your effort is lacking, if your work ethic is trash. Confidence comes from knowing exactly what you have to offer, exactly what you got, exactly what you don't got, and knowing exactly what you can and cannot do. That's where confidence comes from. Just knowing who you are and what you can do and what you cannot do, and then using that to your will, So that's how you build clutchness. That's how you build, that will. That's how you build that X factor. That's how you build that stubborn nature of like, hey, you can do whatever you want, but I'm not going to let you get that. Now, part of getting a stronger will is actually being prepared. You're only going to be as good as your preparation. So with that being said, a lot of what you need to get in the higher level, outside of, again, what we talked about, speed, time, and power, precision, and range, and then that first part of that level of the higher level was mind games, and the second part of that was will, X factor. But that third part of the higher level is knowledge, which means if there are certain things that people don't know, like for example, you take a game like Tekken, you take a game like Street Fighter, there are certain knowledge checks that if you do not know them, you literally cannot beat people. And I don't care how good you are at all these other things, I don't care how much X factor you have, I don't care how much mind games you can play, how much range, precision, power, timing, and speed you have, certain things are what we call knowledge checks. And literally pros spend the most time probably on that. what's something that I can do that if no one knew about it, I would destroy them and they would literally have no idea how to counter it. For example, you look at Errol Spence versus Crawford. That fight was very, very boring and he got demolished. Why? Because there was something that Crawford did that Errol Spence never faced before, and it completely disoriented him. And he looked lost out there. He looked like he didn't know how to fight. And he's a world-class champion. Why? Because there was a knowledge check that he's never seen before, and it took away all of his game plan. So not having enough knowledge to fight someone, I don't care how much speed, power, time, and precision, or range, or mind games, or X factor that you have. If you don't have the knowledge to be able to match someone else's knowledge, or if you don't know something, you're going to get caught. For example, whenever you parry and throw at this jab at the same time, or when someone throws a jab, if you go over the jab, or if you go throw the punch while you're parrying it, a lot of people don't do that, you know. And there are so many other things that you can do in order to like take away someone's jab or power, or someone's, you know, quickness, speed. For example, if you know how to like take away their quickness and still put your quickness at the same time, that's a knowledge check. So it's like, hey, I know you have speed, but I have timing with speed, and it's going to beat your timing and speed because I know that this is going to work. Let's see, do you know it's going to work? Do you have a counter for what I'm about to do? And if you don't, it'll make the best players in the world look like trash. For example, these pros, when they go against Sonic Fox or Ninja Killer, I'm talking, they'll sit there and they'll mollywop all these random people, you know, in Combat League or whatever. And then when they go against these the best of the best, there are certain knowledge checks. It's like, oh, if I do this movement, it's just enough to make that whiff, but you don't know that, so you're going to throw it out and then I'll punish you for it. And it's like, how did he know? How did he know that was going to happen? How did he? Studying and actually having knowledge. And knowledge is not just like knowledge checks of like, does he know he can punish that? Does he know how to punish that? Does he know how to get here? Does he know how to put pressure here? Does he know this frame trap? Does he know that? Does he know what to do in order to get out of this? But also studying the person you're actually going against, downloading them. I truly believe that Sonic Fox probably has like videos on every pro that he uses to remember like what their style is, and he probably has it all in his head now, but literally to like just completely counter people, like completely like basically like download them, and he has their style downloaded. He knows their time and he knows like how do you want to do it, and he's mastered fighting them, and he studied them enough to where he's downloaded them. That is knowledge. And a lot of players are built off of like, okay, you'll get the first like 5, but that's why we're doing a first to 10. You might have the little beginning things, but I'm gonna learn you, and if I learned you, do you have anything else? Can you switch it up? That is knowledge. This is how pros are able to beat each other. That's the reason why competitiveness is competitiveness. You see Stephen Curry, people know what he's got. They're building knowledge around him, like, okay, we're going to do this, see if that can stop him. We're going to do this, and we're going to switch it up next time, see if this is going to stop him. And it's a constant back and forth of like, can you keep up? Can you keep up? I got this new knowledge. I'll lab this now. Can you check it now? Oh, you don't know what to do? Okay, I'll mollywop you. Now you're going to have to go back and practice that scenario. That is all knowledge. Knowledge is absolutely going to beat the crap out of people, which is the reason why I told the guy that I was training up, Nori, I said, look, I said, honestly, I think you're a much better fighter than me. He's like, what? No way, dude. You're like a god at like all these things. And I'm like, I just have more knowledge than you. I said, the moment I would tell you everything that I know about this game and you practice it to where you can get on the same level, I said, your reaction time is faster than me. I said, you're going to be able to beat me. You just need to get to that level. And he's like, nah, man, that's not true. And I'm like, I'm telling you. There are certain like ceilings that players have, and I'm like, dude, you are absolutely good. Your precision is way better than mine. Your speed is way better than mine. Your ability to just be able to play off of your execution is way better than mine. You would beat me if you had as much knowledge as I have. Now I said my mind games are like my mind games are crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I can beat someone off of mind games alone. I can get in someone's head. I can make them sit there and stand still like, what? I'll sit there and let someone get every single throw that they want to grab, just so that way they go for it, and then last second I'll go ahead and then punish them, microduck them. I'm always playing mind games with someone. I'm literally making them think, oh, you got me conditioned, and then I switch it up so that way you do it thinking you got me, using my weakness as a strength. I'll make weaknesses for a fight just so that way I can exploit those weaknesses at my own leisure. That is a mind game. And that is why I'm able to go against a lot of good players without, you know, the precision that they have or the power that they have, and still be able to dominate. Now my timing is also pretty good as well. I'm not gonna lie, but that's where I do timing, and I do range, and I do mind games, and I do knowledge. That's where I'm at. Now the last thing that we're gonna talk about is experience, which is one of the ones that you can't teach. It's not something that you can pick up. It's only going to happen over time, and it's going to give you the biggest reward. You ever wonder how pros get the game in one day and they already made like these characters look, basically bring these characters out at the highest level in like a day of just learning their kit? They do that because they played enough of these fighting games to where they understand. They know, right? That, hey, this is probably the earliest that I can, you know, this the latest I can press a button and then still be safe, right? This is the timing for that kick not to whiff. This is that, like, or if you found a game, if you found an art, or you found some sort of style that just works, or you have enough knowledge gained about fighting games in general, you can go to another completely different fighting game like Sonic Fox or Ninja Killer or, you know, whoever, even what's his name, Foxy Grandpa. These people who play multiple different fighting games, and they can go to another fighting game and have zero knowledge of it, but because they have experience, they're able to use what they know before and apply it to something completely different. And this is why I say, like, hey, if you're a fighter IRL, you could probably get into a fighting game and succeed really well. Or if you're playing fighting games and you're this technical with it and you understand what's going on, and then when you get into, like, let's say a boxing ring, or you get into MMA, and then your coach is telling you all kind of things, you're like, hey, that sounds like this, I remember. And then it opens up, oh, well, I could probably do this, I could set up with this. Instead of me just throwing like a double hook or throwing a hook to the body, I can make it look like it's going to the body, and I can bring it up top. That will be a mind game. You can take what you do and then transfer it over to something else, and that is experience. This is why old guys, you know, who have a lot of experience in life, probably don't want to mess with them. You don't know what kind of experiences they have. A person who's very old in a young man sport where they die young, that's somebody you got to watch it for, because they got a lot of experience and they have a lot of knowledge that you don't have, and they probably gonna whip your butt. I'm not gonna lie. So people with experience, you have to respect that, because that means they've been seasoned, they've honed their skills, they are battle proven basically. And that is only going to come with time. You can't get experience in a day, you know, you can't get experience in a month. And I told that to my guy Nori. I said, it's going to take you a long time before you're able to beat me, before you're able to even match me. I said, I'm going to be kicking your butt a lot. I said, because you're going to need to get experience. And still to this day, he's much better than me. I'm not going to lie, he's much better than me, and I still will kick his butt. Why? Because of experience. I've played more fighting games than him. I have more fighting game like terminology because I played multiple different fighting games that all play differently, and I'm able to use what I learned in this one that has no correlation to this game at all. But there was a certain mind game that happened in that game, or a certain movement that I learned that feels like this, and now I can use that to exploit, and it feels much more natural. And then I'm able to use that to beat him, or I'm able to do what I like to call bully tactics. I have my own terminology that I built around fighting in order to like help people who like have never really like gotten that deep into fighting games understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And I've trained so many people in all kind of different fighting games, but you legit can sit here and bully people until they legit like go to sleep. Literally. So experience is one of those things where it'll make you great just by having it. So everything correlates. Nothing that you do is going to be in vain. For example, sitting here learning like the earliest possible timing to press right there, learning that timing, that's never going to be in vain, because then when it's time for you to do a combo in the corner, you're going to know the earliest possible frame that you can put that down poke in. Or whenever you go to the next game, you're going to know, okay, I got to master the timing of this. Okay, what's that timing, right? Or I know how to practice for that. Oh, that's the timing. I can remember that. Or if you get yourself a bigger arsenal of like actually timing stuff and getting combos right, it's going to make it to where the harder combos in the world, if you sit there and you practice like this really hard combo that required very specific timing, you're building your brain to lock in muscle memory, or to be used to locking in hard timings. So you're going to be better at doing it, and it's going to be easier for you to do it. For example, let's take this for example. This is the timing that you would do if you don't have like a lot of muscle memory, but there's a combo that you can do. Hold on. Oh, that's not one. Let me use my actual key. You can even do it off of the actual jab too. Right there. So like there's a combo that you can do right there that if you have the timing for it, you can absolutely get that combo every single time. Now this is not an easy combo at all, but it just requires very specific timing, right? And let's say you learn this combo and you're able to get it, pretty consistent. Well, that's not in vain, because the next time you have to do that combo, right? Or the next time you have to learn a combo that's hard like that, you're going to be able to get to a point of being able to do it, and it doesn't even require that much, consistency, or it's not as hard because you've done it before. All right, so for example, another one, I learned this from Ninja Killer. Hold on, let me get it right. Hold on. I haven't done this one in like a few days, I'm not going to lie to you. I always mess that part up, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's really not that bad, girl. That's the part that I always mess up right there. And it's because the timing for that 3 is very weird for me. And I didn't do my thingamajigger. Alright, you get the picture though. So like, these things will become much easier the better you get at that. And like, let's take for example someone like Ninja Killer. He's able to do this stuff very consistent, but why? It's because he's probably spent a lot of time, he has a lot of experience with like hard timings, and people call him a robot because they're like, dude, how are you doing that so consistent? It's not because he's like some alien, or it's just experience. He has a lot of experience with doing these really hard timings for these combos. And because he has that much experience doing these hard combos, he can do them at a higher execution rate than other players because he's used to it. He's put in that time and he has the experience with it. So when you look at a game, you really have to think of it like, okay, is this going to make me better overall, or is it just going to help me right now? And as you develop these skills, they're going to correlate, they're going to transfer over from game to game. So if you're wanting to become better, practice your fundamentals, because all it's going to end up in is you being able to do combos, or you being able to do things that you've never thought that you could do. And for example, like even learning max combos, learning optimals. Let's say there was this one combo where again you have to hit him with that second hit and then hit him with that, or like for example, let's say you have to you do this combo like that, right? Let's say you had a combo where you had to do that in the previous game, but you didn't have to do it in this one. But because you had to do it in the previous game, you can look for it in this game and see like, oh, can I do that? And if you can, then it's like, oh, I was able to find a new optimal that no one else thought was possible. And now we have 40 meterless combos with the character that already had 37%. But like, you get what I'm saying? Like, so like, it's the little things. Just know that nothing that you do is in vain. So get in the lab, practice, master, give yourself the best chance that you possibly can. And so with that being said, that is literally everything that I have for you guys. Seriously, this is a game where, and honestly, this part is really not that hard. It's the beginning of that like throws me off, honestly. It's always that part right there. I can't get my A at the right time, but other than that, like, that part, this part, all of that's easy. It's really not hard. It's literally just that part. But yeah, so like, it ain't nice till you do it twice. Hold on, let me do it again. Alright, I'm trying. Anyways, so yeah, like, once you get your skill up, once you are able to like kind of get your mastery up, then everything that like a lot of other people struggle on, you're not going to be able to struggle on. And I haven't played, I ain't gonna lie, I've been going through some life stuff. I ain't gonna trip. I had like 10 videos that I was supposed to have like out already, but I was dealing with some life stuff, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But Yeah, I was supposed to make a bunch of content, but things just kind of happened, and I do apologize about that because I did have a lot of content that I wanted to, you know, kind of relate to you guys. But again, having that knowledge, having that precision, as you can see, you go from being able to, you know, doing, you know, these baby combos like this, right? So this one was, you know, I think this one was 37. Let's see, I don't even remember how to do this one though anymore. I remember the timer for this one because I haven't really been playing that much. I think it's right here. Yeah, so this one right here, I think this one is going to give you 37%. Yeah, 37%. I keep doing the jacks thingy, but this Kung Lao I'm using, it's going to give you, I believe, 37%. So you go from 37% to 42% just from actually getting your precision up to where you can do these harder combos, you know. That's a huge difference. You know, that determines if someone is going to be able to, can't believe I did that. But, that's going to determine if you're able to, you know, kind of kill someone quicker, you know. So these are all things that as you get better at doing these little, you know, these little soft cancels or getting these little frame things, or let's say you play Street Fighter 6, then all MK combos are going to be like a cakewalk for you because like it's not even in the same ballpark. Street Fighter 6 combos are way harder than, you know, combos in MK. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but so yeah, just know that nothing that you do is gonna be in vain, and as long as you guys like learn how to like for example, let's say you take a combo like this. A combo like that, right? One that you have to like time it at the like latest possible frame, like right there or something like that. Let's say you spend a lot of time mastering that. Let's say you just want to master that. It's never going to be in vain because whenever it's time for you to, you know, do that in, you know, the next game to maximize like their juggle time, their air time, like you see Ninja Killer do, then that links, and then it's like, okay, well, now you're able to do a combo that would be hard for someone who's a beginner, and now you can, you know, do that at your leisure, and you don't even have to think about it, you know. And then let's say you have to do it a little bit more consistent, and then you have to do something like that. Oh, let me get right. Hold on, let me get right. That ain't worked up. That might have connected. That one was the one for sure. Anyways, so like then you have combos that like would be harder for other people to hit, and you're just like, oh, that's a cakewalk. I've been there before. Again, the whole X Factor, that's definitely the one. you could tell by the hit, and it's also is like I know what I'm looking for, and I know when I hit it, and I know when I don't hit it. So again, just being there before, seeing these combos a bunch of times, knowing how the hit reaction needs to be in order to get it, you can change your combo mid-air. That's the reason why I love Fujin and MK11, because it's like I didn't get the hit reaction that I wanted, so let me change this combo mid-up, and now I'm gonna like not do this. I'm gonna end it with that, or I'm gonna end it with this now. You know what I mean? It's like there's so many ways that kind of goes into play, but like seriously, I want you guys to know that this is a game that is all about speed, timing, power, precision, range, mind games, will, then knowledge, then experience. If you guys can get these things in your arsenal, I promise you guys you're going to be so much better. This is the formula of how you get better, and the order that I would tell for you to get better in would be speed, power, timing, precision, range, because not everyone has range, you know. That's it, either have it or you don't, you know. Now you can master range with what you're working with, but that's all you can really do. But once you do, you're gonna be god tier. Mind games, will, clutch, X Factor, that's kind of all grouped in together. Will, clutch, X Factor, that kind of thing. Then knowledge, then experience. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This was more again of a talking kind of video. Hopefully you guys did find it very thorough, or you found it very informational, or just even entertaining even. This is going to be your rubric for how you approach a game. So when I approach a game like, okay, what can I do that's different than a game that it feels like, or what can I apply to this game that I already know? So I approach the games like, okay, what's the movement like? Because movement is speed, you know. How does the movement, you know, work? Like when I played Multiverse, the first platform fighter that I ever played, so, okay, what's the movement like? How do I get better with movement? And I literally made a movement guide. If you guys want to watch it, that's pretty cool. And then I'm like, okay, now what character does the damage? Where's the power at? I need to know what's power, because I need to know what's going to be easy. Because if you have power, what character can one shot? What character can, you know, two tap someone and bring them, you know, with, you know, 15 life and get a stock in multiverses? Power, you know, I look for that. Then once I got those two, I'm like, okay, well, let me get my timing right. Let me get my timing right. So it's not just speed, but I use my speed for certain things, or I use my power to get my timing where I want it, so that way I can get people whiffing or catching, you know, doing whatever. And then let me get my precision right, making sure that I'm like position myself at the perfect spot in multiverses to make sure I can get that hit, and then lead it into another button that'll be able to get me that stock. And then once I got my precision where I want it, then I'm like, okay, let me work on range. Let me go ahead and make sure I know exactly how far this button's going to hit, how far I need to be away, how close I need to be in order to get this to work. Or range as far as like how good is the range on that character, how far away do I need to be in order to be able to whiff punish them, how much movement do I have to do in order to make that button with that button with that, whatever. Range. Mind games. Am I going to go above him? Am I going to try to hit above him and, you know, get an overhead? Or am I going to like crouch under, or whatever it may be? What am I going to be able to do to open someone up? What am I going to play? What kind of style am I going to play? What kind of archetype am I going to play? How am I going to work with my teammate? What kind of lineup are we going to have? What kind of formation are we going to have? How are we going to bully this person? Literally. Then Will, Clutch, X Factor. Me sitting there like, okay, well, they're going to do this. I got to be ready for that. I got to prepare for that. I got to know this situation. I got to know that situation. So knowledge, Will, Clutch, X Factor, they kind of go hand in hand, but knowledge, building my knowledge of the game. Okay, what can this character do? What does he have that's very scary? What can this character do? That's why Sonic Fox is always going to be good. It's because he literally learns every character. Because if you know how to play a character, you know how to beat a character. If you fight a certain way, you know how to beat yourself. And if you don't know how to beat yourself, you're probably not like, you know, that good. I know exactly how to beat myself. And then experience. Keep playing. A lot of people that's here, I don't want my record to look bad. Your record's going to be bad anyway. A lot of people that's here, oh, I'm 100 in this. I got this many losses. I'm so good. Okay, go against the best players in the world. Let's look at your record. Then after you do 100 games against them, you're going to be 100 and 100. You get 100 L's. Your record does not matter. It's about experience. You can't say you're the best player in the world if you haven't gone against all the characters, which is the reason why I can't really say I'm that great in MK1, because I haven't played this game enough yet, really. I know a lot, but I haven't played it enough. I don't have the time. So experience is always going to be the thing that happens with time. Again, like for example, MK11, I was really, really good. I was phenomenal at the game. I was like, I literally went on like a, what was it, 56 game winning streak in Combat League. I was dominating people. It literally was not even like funny. I would just mollywop people. It wasn't even a joke. And then I'll hop into casuals whenever I have time off, and I would just mollywop people. 26 game winning streaks every day, just mollywopping people. And I took a break from the game because my homie, he wasn't sparring anymore, and I let the game go. And then I came back, and the same bums that I would beat, they were whipping my tail, even though I had all the knowledge or whatever, but I hadn't played in a while. I was rusty. The experience wasn't there anymore. You know, I dropped it. So experience is always going to be the thing that works in your favor. Play the game, or keep practicing. Practice perfect, so that way you make permanent. Like these guys who've been sitting here this whole video practicing nonstop. If these guys were real, or if they're an AI that comes to life and they're playing this game, I promise you they're gonna be able to do that. I'm joking. You get the point. Anyways, for real though, guys, this is the formula, and this is just more of a philosophy kind of thing, this video. But I promise you guys, if you do these things, if you master these things in that order, you're going to be absolutely dominant in whatever game you play. So this transcends just MK. This goes into every fighting game, and this also goes into even some life formats as well. How fast can you grow? Speed. How hard can you hit the stocks, or how hard can you of an impact can you make at your job, whatever it may be. Power, your timing. Do you know when to do what? Do you know when to let your power hit? Do you know when to make your impact? Do you know how quickly you can make an impact? Can you move fast enough to do it? Is your timing right? What is your precision? Can you reach the mark? Can you be, on the dot with, with the deadline or whatever it may be? What's your range like? How good can you overextend yourself? How good can you, how much stretching can you do in order to do this for a job or whatever it may be? Or how far can your influence go, your range? How far can you, reach that person? What is your influence like on your channel, your YouTube channel, whatever it may be? Extending your range or using your range for whatever purposes that you may have. Playing mind games, not when you kind of want to do it at job place, but even still, everything is, shaping human behavior. Having mind games, having, will. You got a coworker that get on your nerve. You got, you got something where your boss like, hey, I'm gonna need for you to, clutch this for me. We got this person that came in that we need you to handle that business or whatever. Like, they're a high paying customer, whatever it may be, or they're a really important client and we need to make sure that we get, this investment done. We need to make sure that we get this line finished in order to make sure we get that thing. And if you do, you're going to get a bonus or whatever it may be. Having that clutchness or having that X factor where they like, I can count on him for these tough situations, you're going to get rewarded for that, Having knowledge to be able to get, I've been here before. I know what to do in this situation. That's why people pay you more depending on how much you know. You're a doctor, you get paid more than someone who's, a retail worker. Why? Because you know more. Your knowledge has to be higher. You have to retain a lot more information. The best players in the world at MK, they have to be smart because you have to retain so much knowledge and you have to know so many different things. You have to know frame data, you have to know this, you have to know that. You have to constantly be retaining it. It's a full-time job. These guys are really, really good and they're really smart, So you can apply this to anything in life. Experience. You have more experience than the little average Joe who just got there. You're going to have to train them up. You're going to know more than them. You're going to be their superior. These are things that I know I'm putting it in this format, but they really do apply to everything in life. And you can really kind of take it and stretch it however much you want. But that is like a rubric to becoming better at anything that you do. You practice these things and I promise you're going to see success. Now, there are two things that I forgot to mention. So I'll just go ahead and mention them really quick. Very, very simple, but these are the little terminologies that I use. There's something that we can do in fighting games or even in life or whatever it may be that really, really does kind of allow for you to mollywop people. The first one that I'm going to talk is bully tactics, which is, I do this all the time. This is +3. Because this is +3 and this is 7 frames, this button here is really 4 frames. That's how that works. Because that's +3. I mean, it's really 4 frames. Because that's +3 and this button is 7. That basically means you can take that +3 and subtract it from the 7. So 7 minus 3 is 4. So then this down 1 becomes 4 frames, which means I know that, so I can bully that. I can literally do that and just keep doing that over and over again. Or because they know that I can do that over and over again, and if they block for that moment, then they take their turn back, so they're just going to tap block right there. I can bully them and then do this, and if they get opened up, I can, whatever. So you'll see me a lot if I ever upload content. I actually need a card. I sit here and do this literally all day. That's a bully tactic. It's like, okay, duck me. I want you to duck me, because the moment that you start ducking, then I can do this into that, or I can do this into that, or I can do this into that, or you can sit there and be like, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna force you to down poke me. So then whenever you down poke, then I'll punish you with that. These are all bully tactics. It's like, I'm gonna keep throwing this in your face until you make me not do it. Let's say, for example, Liu Kang. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep doing the stagger until you poke me. Force me not to do it. Force me not to do it, right? Force me not, Give me a reason not to do this. Tell me that you have something to show me, right? Literally do something. Or I'm gonna keep bullying you with a throw. I'm gonna do this throw, right? I'm gonna run up to you, give you another one. I'm gonna run up to you, give you another one. Tell me you're going to stop. I'm going to keep bullying you. So let's say I block, I'm gonna throw you again. Or let's say I poke, he counter pokes, I'm gonna throw you again. Let's say I poke, I stop, I'm gonna throw you again. Sonic Fox is a goat at doing this, and I love it when he do it because he can completely like get in someone's mind who's a pro, who you would think have a little bit more resilience to like certain things, and just be like, F that, I'm gonna do it again. He could be minus playing a bar sitting here, he could be -5 after you did something, and he'll throw you. He's like, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna bully you. You're gonna respect me. And literally, I call these bully tactics, which is, let's say if you have something that's plus, I'm gonna keep doing it over and over again until you show me you know how to counter it. And you can literally beat someone with something that is not even like, let's say for example, this. You can bully someone with this button. It is a very, very quick button that goes full screen, right? You have to respect this. This is why his neutral is there. Now he can also do this. Hold on. To just throw it out, and it's like, okay, show me you can punish that, right? Alright? Show me you can. You know? I'll spin the bar. I'll bully you with this button over and over again. And it's like, because you can, it's like, okay, then a button that's really not that powerful, or a button that's really not that strong, but because of the way that you're using the button becomes scary. And this is why Sonic Fox makes characters that are trash in everyone else's mind become gods here, because he has enough mind games, he has enough experience in the games, he has enough knowledge to know what works, he has all the fundamentals there, but he knows how to play bully tactics. Bully tactics, what it does is, I'll explain it. So what you're doing is you're basically taking a human mind and you're getting inside of its engine. So let's say our human's a car. Or, no matter of fact, let's say we'll actually use the human body. So let's say you're fighting someone, right? And you keep throwing the jab, and you keep throwing the jab, and you keep throwing the jab. Eventually, they're gonna be like, I'm tired of getting hitting with this jab. I'm tired of getting hit with this jab. I need to counter this. And then they want to counter, and you're like, psych, I wanted you to want to counter that, and now it opened up this, and this for me. I conditioned you, and I'm a keep throwing that jab so that way I can keep you trying to, get annoyed by it. I'm gonna bully you until you show me you can do something different. Show me you can fight back. I call this bully tactics because it works in literally every single format ever. I'm gonna keep pounding you, pause, until you literally show me something different. And what that does to a human is like, I'm gonna keep annoying you, I'm gonna make you aggravated, and that's why people are like, oh, you're just a spammer, or you're just this. Forget them people. If you want to play a zoner and be like, I'm gonna bully you with all these long range, projectiles, fireballs, until you show me you know how to counter my zoning. You either go switch to a character that got a teleport, or you get in. Show me you got skill. And I love zoners because of the fact that they can play bully tactics so easily, because a lot of the community suck trash. They suck trash. Not suck, they suck trash, because all they want to do is run in and get combos. They have no neutral. They have no idea how to stop zoning. They don't practice. They don't lab. Okay, what can I do? Can I jump over that? Or that's what most people do. Can I block this, and then can I backdash and then whatever? Can I do this and get him to think he's not gonna, whatever? Can I do this and then throw a button here? Or can I dodge and throw a button that you would think would be a projectile fireball, make him not press a button? So then next time I do it, I can get even closer. Can you play mind games with zoning where you stop someone okay, you can't just zone me all the time, because I'm gonna punish you for it. I got things. Or I'll jump up and then I'll do this, or I'll jump up and I'll do this, I'll jump up and then I'll do this to make both of those whiffs. So I'll jump over and I'm like, okay, I'll do that now, so that way I'll make the next one whiff, and then I'll whatever. There's all kind of things that you can do whenever it comes to stopping zoning. You have to show me that you can stop me from zoning in order to stop me from zoning. And I know people hate zoners, but there's this one guy who's a pro who loves zoning characters. I love watching him play, because I'm like, he beats so many people who think they're good, who think they're pro level, and they're not, because they never actually learn how to stop zoning. You're not good. You have to be able to stop bully tactics. If you cannot stop a bully tactic, you're going to get mollywopped. And the two people who I see doing this the best is first Ninja Killer. Ninja Killer got probably the best bully tactics in MK right now, and then Sonic Fox. I'm not gonna lie though, Ninja's bully tactics are on a whole nother level. That dude mollywops people. He makes the best players in the world look like the absolute garbage. Sonic Fox is more of a mind game person, but Ninja Killer will bully you to death. He will literally bully you to death and keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. He's like, show me you know how to beat it. Show me you got skill. And if you don't, you gonna catch that same lick over and over again until you dead. So like, bully tactics is so important. Learning where you can bully people, or how you can get someone to be like, I'm tired of getting thrown. I'm tired of getting thrown. I'ma just duck. Oh, you gonna duck now? Let me hit you with this meaty. I'm tired of getting meaty. I'ma just hold block. Oh, you gonna just hold block? Let me auto shimmy you. Let me sit there and like make you think I'm about to throw you, because you think you're gonna hold block, and then you feel like, oh, he about to throw me, and then you open up your guard and you're like, nah, I'ma still hit you with the same meaty that you've been saying. I'ma just hold block, and then you open up some more, and then you make them more annoying. Especially whenever you start doing things in a format. We'll talk about that in a second. But having bully tactics are so good, because you really do allow people to really play or get played. They become so focused on this one part of the game that it makes the game be simplified, and you're controlling the simple formula that you're making. It's like you can take a person who's really good, and you can basically like take away all their skill, because their mind is getting so focused on this one thing that they're losing the big picture, and you bring them into this narrow, small little incy beansy part of the game that they get so isolated and focused on that they don't realize that they're losing. And to bring this into a real world aspect, you have some fighters who constantly are getting jabbed, or they're constantly getting this happening, and then they're afraid to throw, or they don't know how to throw, and so their brain literally like it gets fried, and they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna just sit here and block. And then that's why you have referees that be like, okay, well, we gotta stop the fight. He's not throwing punches anymore. He got bullied so much he doesn't even know how to fight back, because every time I throw this, I get countered. Every time I throw this, I get countered. And this is what happened with people in fighting games. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna just sit here and hold block. Come to me. Like you see that fight with Izzy versus Romero, or that fight with Izzy versus Paulo Costa. They didn't know what to do. He threw so much mind games at him, so much bully tactics. They were like, bro, I'm tired like thinking you gonna kick my leg. I'm tired thinking you about to do. I don't know what to do no more. I quit. And you literally make them mentally tap out, because they're like, okay, I just fight. Like I got power. That's it. Like I just got this. Like I don't know what you're doing, bro. You doing too much. Like I quit. I'm gonna sit here. You bullying me too much. Come here. Literally. This is what I call turtle formation. People who stand still, they turtle. I don't know what else to do. Come here. That's literally what this is. People who do this, I don't know what to do no more. You're bullying me too much. Come here, you're annoying. You know? So please learn bully tactics. Bully tactics will allow for you to mollywop people. Omni-Man has some great bully tactics. I'm not even gonna lie. His bully tactics are crazy. So the next thing that you have outside of bully tactics is like dulling people, like nulling people, which is basically like, I call it desensitization. Whenever you basically throw so much crap that they're like, okay, I don't respect that, and then whenever they finally stop respecting it, then you actually throw something there, and then they're like, oh shoot, he threw something right there. I do this all the time, especially in basketball. I'll sit there in somebody's face and I'll dribble, and I'll just sit there and dribble, and I'm like, all right, just sitting here dribbling. And they're like, okay, bro, you just really gonna just sit there and dribble? Or you like, take James Harden for example, between, cross tween, toss cream, the whole time. And like, all right, bro, can you do your move already? The moment they get like that, it's like, okay, now I'm gonna do my move, and it's like, oh shoot, he did his move, and then you're a step behind, you're hesitating. So like, for example, doing this is desensitized. It's like, okay, bro, are you actually gonna throw a button or not? Like, this is desensitizing, you know, like, and not actually throwing out. It's like, okay, bro, like, are you actually gonna do something? Like, it's like, okay, bro, all right, that's all. Really, that's it? Or let's see, and it's like you actually throw it out. Or let's say you do this. Oh, you think it's gonna be this? You think it's gonna be that? Psych, now it's gonna be that. Hold on, that was an input error. Now if it looks the same like this, right? Then you throw that, you know, it's like boom, you know, then it's boom. It's like you can literally be like, okay, why is he just throwing that right there? And you can like legit like get someone so like, what? Why is this person just doing that? It makes no sense. And then right when they're processing that and they're getting desensitized, like, okay, this is boring, and they want to make something happen, or they're like, okay, bro, really? That's when you actually let something fly, and it's like, okay, so like, boom, boom, boom. Because a lot of people, they react to the first thing that they see, right? And then it's like, okay, and then you throw this out, and it's like, oh wait, shoot, that was an actual button. So you're like, okay, and then it makes this harder to read for them. Instead of you just like actually just letting this fly all the time, it's like, okay, I'm gonna just do this out here. And they're like, okay, why is he throwing it out right there? And then you're like, button, you know? You'll be surprised, because this is what I like to call whenever you're getting inside someone's mind. What this does is it makes them literally stop thinking. They're like, what? Can you do something, please? Like, desensitization is also sitting there doing nothing. You be like, all right, I'm a turtle here. They're like, bruh, are you gonna do something? And then all of a sudden you, bam. They're like, what? You'll catch people like that, literally. So like, this basically does the same thing that bully tactics does. It literally brings people in this very narrow like part of the game. A game can have like so many levels, and you can take a game to like this very simple format, or this very simple mind game, if you can get someone like kind of like stuck in your little storm that you created, basically. And you're like, I know I could do 1,000 things from out here, but I'm gonna only do these two. And you're gonna play my game. You're going to play my game at my place now. And if you can do that, you win the game. You can do that with bully text. You can do that with desensitization or dulling. Like, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna dull this game out. I'm gonna do something. You're like, okay, bro, that's weird. Show me you can punish, and if you can't, I'm gonna keep doing it. Then I'm gonna like mix it in with something that can catch you wherever you're at. So it's like, I'll actually throw this right here, right? Just so you think this is what I'm gonna do. And it's like, is it gonna be this button, or is it gonna be that button? Is it gonna be this button, or it's like, I'll throw this out, and then you're like, okay, that's gonna be it. And then it's like, is it gonna be it? I'll do this, and I'll keep doing that. And you're like, all right, bro, are you gonna do something else? So you're kind of mixing in a bully tactic with desensitizing them. And it's like, okay, that's it. And then you hit him with this, or then you hit him with that, or then you hit him with that. You know, so like doing a lot of like stupidity. For example, even this, whatever it may be. It's like, all right, bro. Literally, they'll sit there and they'll probably do something with you. But doing the smallest things, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna catch you now, sight boy. Those little things might be like, okay, that's so small, but it'll affect people. It really does. You're getting into their mind. So now let's talk about the last thing, and then we'll call it a wrap, because I know this is a very long video, but like, bro, I'm telling y'all, it's there's levels to the game, and this is how you get to it. So another thing that you have is what I like to call patterns. Now, I think the person who does this the best, I think a lot of pros, a lot of good players could really benefit the most from this. So if you are a very good player and you're looking to get to another level, this is really going to help you out. There are patterns with people, and you'll be surprised. Literally, if you go back and watch people's gameplay, everyone has a pattern, and any human that's good at picking up on patterns dominate the world. Literally, any human that is good at picking up on patterns dominate this world. They rule the world. They understand the patterns of life. They understand the pattern of the people around them. They understand the pattern of a game, the pattern of society, the pattern of money, the pattern of whatever. You can do that. You can dominate. So let's apply that to this game. So you're looking at this game and you're like, okay, humans play off a pattern. So every time he does a mix-up, let's say someone, they always do 1-2, 1-2, then they throw. Or they do 1-2, then they throw. Or they do 1-2, and they poke. Humans will do this in a pattern that they think is random, but they're really just doing it like clockwork. And a lot of humans are not aware of this. But if you just study a human, I believe the only person who truly does that to the level that I'm talking about is Sonic Fox, because I've seen him play, and I've seen how it's like, how did he know? And I'll go back and I'll reach. I'm like, he knew their pattern, because I'm like, they've been doing a 1-1-2 this whole time, and he caught on to it. Any human that is able to recognize patterns, they dominate. So for example, if someone's 1 is basically this, their 2 is this, and their 3 is this, you can literally be like, okay, he does 1. Hold on, I'll do it again. So let's say his 1 is this, so 1 2 1 2. I said that's his 1. His 2 is this, and then his 3 is this. All right. Some people naturally have what I call a 1 1 2. So they'll do that, whatever, then they'll do it again. And then they'll be like, the third time they'll do the 3 or the 2. So they'll do like this. Hold on, sorry. 1 1. Then they'll do their 2. Right there. That's supposed to be a down poke, but you get the point. So like, they're doing their 1 pattern, and then their 2 pattern. But here's what I found in general with life. Now this is me personally. It is what it is. Most people do 1 1 2 or 1 2 2 or 1 2 1. Those are the 3 you're going to see the most, which is 1 2 1, right? Or they're going to do 1 1 2, if that makes sense. Or they're going to do 1 2 2, which is 1, and then they're going to do 2 2. Most humans do 1 1 2 or 1 2 2 or 1 2 1. And if you can find out which one of these a person naturally does that they think is them being random, but they're really not being random, they're being on a pattern that they don't realize they're doing it subconsciously. If you can, again, this is like some people, they chalk it up to like, oh, rhythm, or like I'm locked in, or like it's my momentum. You don't realize that your brain is actually just picking up on patterns. And the people who are aware that they pick up on patterns and they actually abuse the fact that they know they can, those become the best players or the best fighters or the best whatever. If you can pick up on someone's pattern, it's like he likes to do this at this spot. I see that he's like, let me go ahead and touch him right there. Let me put something right there for him. Let me break up that pattern for him. Or if you know someone's going to do their 1, let's say they always start off with a 1. So let's say they wake up and they always start off with this. He's like, okay, that's a pattern I noticed. That's his 1. Or they wake up and then they start with their armor. Let's say that's pattern 2. Or they wake up and then they dodge and then they want to, do that. Let's say that's pattern 3. If they're like a 1 1 2 person, they're going to wake up, and I don't remember what my 1 was, but let's just say they're going to wake up and they're going to do this. And then they're going to wake up and they're going to do it again. They're like, oh, now I did it twice, so he going to be thinking I'm going to do it the 3rd time. Oh, let me go ahead, wake up, and then I'm going to go ahead and do armor instead. Or let me wake up and then I'm going to do this instead. Or let me wake up and I'm going to throw him instead. Well, that's going to catch him. No, you're not. You ain't fooling nobody. Now, that's what like average players do. More intermediate players are going to do 1 2 1, which is they're going to wake up and then they're probably going to like blah blah. Now, pay attention to the patterns, not exactly the buttons. They're going to wake up and they're going to do that. Next time they wake up, they're going to wake up and they're probably going to do something different. Then next time they wake up, they're going to go back and do the same thing that they did, because it's like, oh shoot, he just 1 2 1 me. And it's like, oh, all right. Now you don't know what they're going to do next, because it's like, okay, he just did 1, he just did 2, he just did 1 again. Is he going to do 2 again, or is he going to do 1 again? That's a little bit of a better mind game than just 1 1 2. Because most humans are gonna immediately react to the first thing that you did. So again, if you hit them with this, I'm like, okay, next time I see that, I need to be ready. Now, some humans are more stubborn than others, so a lot plays into that. But you kind of have to be in your bag whenever we're talking about this. Is the highest level that you can really think of. So if you're doing 1 2 1, you're gonna be a little bit more intimate. You're gonna catch a lot of people, because then they're like, I don't know what's coming next at that point, right? But if you're a 1 2 2 player, you're gonna have the most success, because I'll show you why. So a lot of things kind of get played, and I'm not going to get all psychological. I don't got time for all that. But let's say you wake up and you did this. Like, okay, cool. And then you wake up and you immediately do something different. It's like, oh, shoot. Okay, that was different. That's not what I expected it to be. All right, let's see what happens next. And you wake up and you do it again. It's like, okay, he likes doing that. I like that. Or and then it's like, okay, wait, what if he about to do the 1 again? Because that's what average players do. Then you have a better mind game, because it's like, then you could do 1 2 2 2. Then you could do 2 again. And you could do 2 again. And then you could do 2 again. Then you could do 1. So it's like, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna do armor. Alright? I'm gonna wake up next time and I'm gonna do buttons. And I'm gonna wake up next time, I'm gonna do buttons again. And I'm gonna wake up next time, I'm gonna do buttons again. Then the next time I wake up, I'm gonna do buttons again. Next time I wake up, then I'm gonna do armor. That is going to run people crazy. And the person who I find has the hardest pattern to figure out is Sonic Fox. Sonic Fox, he's completely random. Completely random. You know who's also good at switching their stuff up? He's a little bit more predictable, but Ninja Killer. Ninja Killer is very, very like hard to predict sometimes. Now, his fireballs are very, very predictable. I'm not going to put his business out there because I'm not trying to help nobody beat one of my favorite players to watch, but his fireballs are actually very predictable. I was able to pick up his pattern. Now, it's a very hard pattern to figure out, but once you figure it out, you literally sit there and watch this guy in slow-mo whenever he's throwing fireballs. You're like, okay, I see what he's doing. I almost like low-key did his movement, but I'm not gonna put him on blast. But if you are able to pick up patterns, you'll be able to know exactly what you can do to interrupt that pattern. And then whenever you force people to really try to be random, what ends up happening is they start falling back to like a worser pattern that's even more predictable, thinking that they're being even more random, but they're being just more predictable. And then again, if they're having to think, which means they hesitate, well, I just did that, I can't do it again because they know how I normally do that, so now I gotta do it. You hesitating, now you're in my world. You're no longer making me react, I'm making you react, and you're supposed to be on the offensive here. Now I'm making you react offensively, and I'm making you also react defensively. You're now in my world, you're now in my game, and that's literally why Sonic Fox puts the best players and he makes them look like they're child's play. Because he's doing exactly what I'm talking about. He recognizes their patterns and he makes them second guess their own skill, their own ability to mix things up. And it's like, did I really mix it up? Let me try doing this now. And then Sonic Fox is laughing in the corner like, ha, I did that on purpose. Now you think you about to mix me up, but I really set you up for that too. Set play, setups, mind games. And that is why Sonic Fox is the GOAT. Because he's always playing a mind game. And playing mind games is also playing off of patterns and knowing that you're playing off of patterns, but truly making your patterns as random as possible. And honestly, there's no such thing as randomness in reality. I'm being honest with you. Humans are not, we don't like unpredictability. We are predictably unpredictable. So like, genuinely, if you learn people's patterns, or if you start picking up on patterns, like for example, a person wakes up, he does this button twice, and then he'll immediately throw. He'll do that, and then like, okay, well he just did it, and I noticed he did it again. He just did it, and I noticed he did it again. He just did it, and I noticed he did it again. I'm like, okay, I see your pattern, buddy. If they 1-1-1, that means they probably ain't got no more sauce. Now, if they 1-1-1, and they switch it up on that third one, they switch up on that fourth one, you might want to be scared, because that's a pattern that is like, that's actually random. Because like, I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is literally the perfect example. Computers are actually random. So like, check this out. Let's see what I want to do here. How do I want to do this? We're gonna do this. I know it's taking a little while to set up, but give me a sec. So we're gonna take the high as a 1, the poke is a 2. So 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. You got that's actually randomness. Doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Humans think being random is like 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, they think that's being random, but that's not. Being random is actually doing the same thing multiple times until people are like, okay, that ain't, and then you switch it up. You know, that's how you get people. And I know this is like one of them rabbit holes, but I promise you, if you start developing patterns that's really hard to read, like 112 or 112 222 21 112 222 2221 112 112 221 literally whatever you may think of, or just 11112 11112, or like 112 112 11112 1122221, whatever you may think of. Literally make it random. Now there's no such thing as randomness, but if you make it feel like it's random and you know what you're going to do, I promise you, you're going to open up people much more, because they can't find out your timing. They can't, you know. But what I don't want you to do is like, I haven't done that yet, let me do it now. Or I haven't done that yet, let me do it now. Because anyone who's studying you, they're going to realize when your brain naturally wants to like, oh, let me go ahead and throw this in differently. And that's whenever you do like 1 1 2 3, and it's like, oh, they normally do like 1 1 2, and then they throw that third one on the fourth try. That's when I can expect something completely different. If you do that, that is still predictable. It's like, let's say someone's like, okay, I'm gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. All right, cool. I'm gonna do it again. All right, I did a bunch of meaties. Now let me actually just wake up. Let me throw them on. That's predictable as hell. It's like, you know, and you see a lot of people, they're like, yeah, he hasn't grabbed me in a while. I think a throw is about to come in, and then they literally duck, and sure enough, the throw was right there. Some people think that being random is like, oh, I haven't done it in a while, let me do it now. That is not being random. That is being predictable. Please understand what I just said. You throwing something out because you haven't thrown it in a while is not you being random. That is you being predictable. Now, you saving a button at the very end of a fight. So let's say you throw it at the very beginning of the fight, right? Right? Let's say you throw that throw out at the very beginning of a fight. Or matter of fact, let's say like you throw this button out at the very beginning of the fight. You jump in there and you throw it out, right? And you're like, all right, don't use that button ever again until you need it for a very clutch moment. Sonic Fox does this very, very well. I love watching him play. And then it's like, okay, I need to get one hit that's gonna give me my my thing. I haven't used this button ever again. I literally played multiple games. We're in the third game, and I haven't used it again. They forgot about it. I forgot about it even. Let me throw it out now. But instead of me just throwing it out like I said, because that would be, you know, you can still predict that. Let me fake him like I'm about to, and then delay that bit. Or let me make him think that I'm about to, and then do something that makes him, you know, whatever. And then right after that, then I'll go ahead and throw it out for the actual mix-up to actually get that hit that I need. I do this all the time, and my boy Nerd, he's like, bro, I totally forgot about that. I'm like, I know. I needed a hit, and I saved that for when I needed it. And like a lot of the times what people realize is that because a lot of people do this too. A lot of people, they'll do it at the very like end of a fight. You can do it right whenever they're in middle health, right? Because it's like, okay, I know that they're probably gonna try to throw something out their butt whenever like I know they need a hit. They're gonna get like random on me. Okay, well, what hasn't he thrown out yet? Good players are like, okay, what hasn't he thrown out yet? He might do that. You're gonna get clipped, you know. But if you sit there and you're like, oh, it's mid-life, he's full screen, I'll probably be alright. He ain't gonna do nothing risky. And you do something risky, it's like, dang, that was random. And pro players hate people like that, especially whenever it's at a time. It's like, why the freak would you do that? It's like, let's say you had a fight, and then like y'all both middle health. Like, why would you throw that out right there? And you literally see them say that all the time. It's like, bro, why would you do that? That's so random. That is when you're truly being unpredictable. You have to know like how people think, and then counter how they think, or play to how they think, and then use that strength of theirs and make it a weakness, or make a weakness of yours, the fact that you are a person that has patterns, and make that weakness a strength by actually abusing the weakness to the point where you make them think they know it, and then you switch it up. So I know this is a lot of like, Okay, it could be this, it could be that, but I promise you guys, like, literally, this game is all about, like, all about it. You literally have to, like, master this stuff. This is going to make you better. Now, that's pretty much all I have to say. Let's see how long this video was. 99 minutes. God dang. Anyways, it really is a lot, but hopefully you guys did enjoy it. I know this is going to help you guys out. I have been working on this stuff for a long time. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I do want to get better at this game. However, I got a lot of life stuff going on right now. I really don't have a lot of time, but hopefully you guys really did enjoy this video. Bros, I'm dropping bangers, right? I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even care if y'all agree with me or not. I'm telling you guys, this stuff is like gonna make you good. Not only because I've been proven myself by doing this, but also, yeah, you get it. All right, deuces. I got to go. See you boys.